Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back to Navigating the Gap, the place where real conversations meet real life. I'm really excited today because we have our my special guest. The trio is back together. We have Leslie Bournes, we have Anna Jackson, and we actually have an audience member today. We have our very own nephew Gavin. There we go. And so I'm just gonna say, everybody say hello, and then I'm gonna go on with my introduction.
Good evening. It's Leslie Bournes. It's so nice to be back. I've been away for a minute, but I'm the CEO of my household, helping you to navigate uh, things that you need to get done as you are navigating life and the things that you have in your household that you're responsible for.
Hi, I'm Anna Chatelaine Jackson, and I am a medical secretary here to help you build a comprehensive medical background so that your family always has the proper things to refer to. And I'm so happy to be back.
Can I say something? All right, everybody. This is us. We're getting started. Let's jump right in. So, the gap, navigating the gap. Here we are. What is that? The gap is that space many of us experience in life, the place between what we thought life would look like and what it actually becomes. It's the space between denial and acceptance, confusion and clarity, fear and ownership. And here we talk honestly about what it takes to move through it. I'm your host, Renee, and today's conversation is about something that affects every one of us, whether we realize it or not, the power of building the right team around your life. There's a powerful truth that says all of us are smarter than any one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
All of us are smarter than any one of us.
I agree.
I agree
I,
totally.
Exactly. Many of us were taught that we had to figure everything out alone, handle the problems, carry the weight, make the decisions. But the reality is, none of us were designed to navigate life by ourselves. Every season of life requires support, perspective, and people who can see what we might miss. Whether you're raising children, caring for aging parents, navigating autism, building a business, managing your finances, or simply trying to become the best version of yourself, there will always be that moment where someone else's wisdom, experience, or encouragement becomes the bridge that helps you cross your next gap. That's why building your team matters, and your team might look like family, right? It might look like friends. It might be professionals, mentors, teachers, therapists, or advocates. But the key is this: the right voices around you help you make better decisions, see things more clearly, and move forward with confidence. Your team might look like family, right? It might look like friends. It might be
I
professionals,
I was listening
mentors,
to I
teachers,
was making
therapists,
sure
or
we were live.
advocates.
So you
But
hear me?
the key is this.
I had my phone to say we were live. So we
That's
are
okay.
live.
That's okay. I'm about to wrap this part up. So
Okay, so please forgive me.
that's okay. Sometimes we get stuck because we think asking for help is weakness, but the truth is wisdom grows when we allow others' perspective into the room. Today we're going to talk about how to recognize the people you need around you, why collaboration matters in every area of life, and how community can transform the way we navigate the hard moments. Because the truth is, navigating the gap becomes a lot easier when you realize you don't have to do it alone. So stay with us, lean into the conversation, and let's talk about what it really means to build the right team around your life. This is Navigating the Gap. Thanks everybody for just listening in. I wanted to share that information and I wanted to jump back to that thought, which what did you think about when you hear that statement of all of us are smarter, all of us are smarter than any one of us?
Well,
You know what? I it hit home for me because, like you said, for so long everything is like, oh, you have nobody but yourself to depend on.
mm-hmm.
And I will take the most tragic moment in my life was when my husband was diagnosed with cancer. I couldn't do it alone. I could not take care of the kids, go to chemotherapy with him, go to school, and do all of that by myself. I needed someone to help me. And if I had kept all of that to myself, I would have probably became angry, bitter. I wouldn't have been able to be present for the doctor's appointments, to ask the right questions. I mean, it's so much that you can't do it by yourself.
Absolutely.
You can. Um, and in everyday life, you think that you might be the only one going through this. And so you might be afraid to ask somebody. And some of the people that you end up reaching out to are ones that are experiencing the same thing. And so then you don't feel so alone. You, like Anna, you saying you lost your loved one, your husband, and there are other people that are experiencing it, but they might have a different perspective that helps you get through it even better. Um, I will say an example that came to mind when you were reading that, Renee, had to do with the workplace. I had an employee who passed away. He passed away at home, but there were so many things that I had to get lined up, and I had to reach out to a team of my human resources, the team of my assistant director, his family,
Mm,
his wife, his daughter, um, all of these intricate parts to get the services that they needed quickly,
yeah,
staying on top of it. So that team of people, um, it was challenging, but that team helped me to go through it because I had never experienced that before. What am I supposed to do? It's a Sunday evening. I get a call. Who do I go to first? What's the first? Who are the people that need to step in? And it took uh, it 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 worked out because there were dedicated people that wanted to make sure it got done. And we don't realize who those key people are in whatever situation that will help you to navigate whatever that gap is. Because, like you said, Anna, we think we have to go it alone, but we it's not meant for us to go it alone.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. You want to share something?
No, I was gonna just piggyback on what she said about it gives you perspective because
Talk a little
doing it
louder.
by yourself it could be very isolating, and you kind of need other people's perspectives and ideas to navigate whatever the circumstances. Um, it gives you clarity, it gives you peace, it gives you kind of the strength you need to move forward with whatever the circumstance might be. So I agree.
That's just so good. I want to say that the statement, all of us are smarter, and just hang on to that for a minute than any
Mhm.
one of us. And I think that that is the key. It's just like, I mean, who wants to be broke? Who wants to be poor? Like, we're just like, sometimes we're just suffering through. We're just, not figuring out things. I can, and the reason why I use that statement of who wants to be broke, because a lot of people face that. A lot of people are dealing with homelessness, according to, the word. I'm just using like a generic,
Mhm.
but that there is a system even when you don't have any money. There is a system. You got to know, like, you got to know the game. You got to know You can get the food stamps, you can get there's benefits that you can get, there's organizations, which even like for me, I've learned, so my eyes have been so open over the last 4 or 5 years, just how food banks work.
Yes.
And they work differently. Like some food banks, churches, they have food banks at their church, and you can go there and you can get food. Like they already have a bag packed, you can get a box and you can take it for your kids. But now there's a food bank that several of the food banks that we're connected with, and you can, first of all, you need to sign up. You can show up for like the community things that they do, but if you take the time to go online to their website and fill in the paperwork, they want to know who you are. They want to know what your address is. Yep. They want to, even if you don't have an address and you're homeless and you might live in a hotel, fill that information out. Guess what? You just bumped up what you receive. When you come, the people that just come through for just the regular drive-through that they have every other Saturday, okay, you're going to get the groceries. They're going to give you prayer, and you might get something for the kiddos if it's a holiday. But if you've registered, the registration line, you come in, you check in, you're getting, for this one particular place, you're getting about $700 worth of items. You're getting food, you're getting bottled water, you're getting detergent to wash your clothes, because the mission of the overall this particular food bank is they like to help working, like families that are really like right at that. So, and I know that's a long story about something, but what I'm saying is we're smarter together. There is a system. So when I learned, oh, you need to sign up, I'm sharing it with my friends. I'm like, no, go on to the website, sign up. Yes, I can tell you when the dates that they're giving things from, sign up. And then once you sign up, you get connected with their system. So they don't just have, like, yes, they have their typical giving out stuff monthly, but then they have special events. They have events for the kids. They have events for the teenagers. They have events for the seniors. So I think that this thing of being smarter together has a lot to do with, what do you guys think? I think pride. I think it has a lot to do with being a student versus saying, I know, I just got to be over here struggling by myself.
And shame. And shame.
Yep. Shame or embarrassment. That's what I was thinking. And even once you share it, then someone else can share it. And then those people could say, oh, well, I found out when you do X, Y, and Z, this too is also available.
Yeah.
And I have two schools of thought running through my head. But for the people that really need the services, there are services out there, and you're not alone. That could connect you with maybe another place of employment. It could connect you with how you could volunteer, because while you're waiting to get to the next level, there's input that you could have. It also could connect you with partnering with another family that says, hey, I can go this day to get whatever we need. We're trying to save money on gas. So maybe if I go this time and pick up, then the next time so it's ways to try to work together. And so, we're smarter together.
We are. So I have 3. Let's see how it can work. So we know the premise is we are smarter together. So I'm going to give you a scenario, and all of us are going to tell at least one thing that we can help this person, that this is their scenario.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here is our scenario. We have a young mother. She's in mid-20s. She has a 2-year-old, and she just moved to the state. She has a job, she has employment, but she's here and she doesn't have a lot of family. She doesn't know a lot of people. We're going to put her into the seat of being smarter together. How can she be helped? How can we help her?
child care before and after school.
And
Some Yeah, some places the start time is you're too early and the bus is coming out earlier, and couple up with someone who lives in the neighborhood so you could drop the child off at the home, and they can have someone to walk to the bus stop with and be safe.
Another would be one, since you're new as a neighbor, introducing yourself. Glad you're in the neighborhood. How can I assist you? And I also think about there are more and more groups where it's young parents, some single parents, but let's get together as a group. I can tell you of activities you could take your child to on the weekend, or we meet together and start building a relationship so that she has some additional people to meet and get comfortable in being in this new environment where you don't know anybody.
that's good. How about you?
I was going to say the same thing. Just making yourself available to whatever the need is, and kind of figuring out. You said, especially with with the baby being so young, that too. It's like what kind of resources are there in the area, whether
Mhm.
it's me or there's some type of nursery, daycare center or something that would be helpful for.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, now I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. This time,
Mhm.
I'm gonna describe the person, but this is you, and you're gonna tell us how you are going to help yourself. How are you going to make yourself smarter to get with together? How are you going to do it? So this is a scenario. This is a she is married. They are married, young couple in their mid 40s to late 40s. They have a teenage son who is 13, just 13, and they have a 27-year-old child who doesn't live with them, but they still are helping. And they have a senior father who is has some medical challenges, and she is responsible for them, and she has just moved the father into the house. She doesn't have any services for him yet, except that he recently had a medical challenge. He was in the hospital, and the doctors were like, he can't go home. He was in rehab. Now he's at home, and you're that person. And so this is your scenario, and you need to get some medical support. I'm not going to tell you what you need. You guys are going to tell me what she needs to do. How is she going to help herself that she doesn't try to take herself out? Smarter together. Anybody can jump in.
Well, I will say it sounds like she's already in a neighborhood or knows she's moving her dad in with, or her loved one in with her senior, and then she has a teenager. Um, I think first is what the conversation is with the family that this loved one is coming in and what we have to do. Uh, where I need help, as I know this is my dad, but I need help from both of you now so we can figure out what he needs. And then, secondly, is reaching out to the doctor, his doctor from where he was, to see. And there's a couple of levels to that. Were you the one that could get the medical information? Because Anna already talked about your proxy, having your medical proxy is your name on there so that you can speak to his doctors. You want to get that in order, or even having your dad on the phone to say, yes, you can speak to my daughter, my dad, uncle, I don't remember which one it was, so that you can get a background. And then from that background, what are your recommendations, doctor such and such, now that he's living with me? So that gives you some framework of where to start.
Okay. Okay. Anna?
Um, I would reach out to the doctor's office to find out about what medical assistance is available. Make sure all the forms are completed, especially plan of care for home health aid assistance. And I would talk to my community, the people that I know, people who I am jaw jacking with on a regular basis. I'm going to reach out and say, listen, my father has to move in with me, and I don't even know where to begin. What do you suggest? And are you available to help? I wouldn't, and I've learned not to bottle it up, to make sure I am reaching out to whoever that I can. And sometimes you might think this person might not have any clue to help you, and they're the ones with the most resources. So just talk about it and see where you can get assistance. And again, make sure all of the paperwork from the doctors are in order so that way, once things can roll, there's no delay.
I love it.
You got an idea?
Same thing with what they're saying about make sure that we speak to the doctor and get everything in place with the assistants, but also making the schedule, getting the schedule together amongst the family is very important too. Knowing what each person's role is, big or small, and what between the 13 and the 27-year-old couple, how they can everybody can kind of figure out their place and who needs to kind of assist. So it's not just falls on that one person.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
I love
good. Yeah, I love that because I was like, oh, the baby, he got left out. Nobody, we just getting dad taken care of. Dad's getting and honestly, that's what we do. We focus on like the major pain, like what is the thing
Mhm.
that has like,
Absolutely.
and other people, the rest of the things fall through the cracks
Yep.
for a while.
That is so true.
Baby.
So that was good that you
What
pointed out.
about basketball practice, Mom? What about?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, we're gonna take you, but we got to do this first for
We gotta do
Dad.
this
So
first.
yeah, so not
So-
changing it's totally your schedule, but adding to. You don't
Yes.
want the baby to be left out.
And our last scenario, this is our last scenario, and I want you guys to think about this, and I want you to put yourself in this person's space,
Okay.
and I want you to answer as if you are the person.
Mhm.
Okay. Now you've just been hit with some major news.
Mhm.
You have lost a significant loved one in your family. You are heavily engrossed in grief. Grief is all around you, and you're not even calling it grief because you just know that person that's significant is not there, that space is not there, and you're trying to navigate your way through.
Mhm.
And you have children, and you have a full-time job, and you have now been forced to take on financial responsibilities because the other person was a part of who was helping you, your support person financially. You guys were
Mhm.
together taking care, handling those things. And you are a Christian. You go to church every Sunday, but you find yourself in a dark room pretty much 7 days a week. You go to work, you come home, you find yourself alone, and you have children, like I said, you have responsibilities, and you don't know what to do. Does this system work for you?
Ooh, okay. I'll start. First things first, I am going to have a strong conversation with myself.
Mhm.
And I am going to put myself back into the present. And it sounds easy. Sounds like just words. But until you have that real conversation with yourself, it's hard to pull out.
Mhm.
Then I am going to give myself the limit of maybe 15, 20 minutes a day or a couple of hours where I allow myself to go to live in that moment of grief that I need to live in, but not to let it stretch beyond an hour. I can say because the longer you stay in it, the harder it is to come out. And again, reach out to the people around you. For me, that's what I had to do. It was hard. It was heavy. I didn't want to get out the bed, It was hard to imagine having to go do funeral arrangements for someone who's just turned 38. And I had to have that conversation with myself. I had to snap out of it. And I didn't run away from the grief. I did not allow myself to run away from it. I processed it and I kept moving until I could be healthy. But I, again, did not do it alone. If people wanted to come over just to sit with me, just to sit with the kids, I didn't turn people away because I needed the presence. And as much as it felt like it was annoying at the beginning, like I just wanted to be left alone at some points, it was what I needed. And I allowed people to stop by. And I think that was the best thing to do.
Mm. And I commend you, Anna, and definitely honor you in the walk that you went through. So my logical side of my brain is saying, oh, I could not so much snap out of it, but think about what I need to do to get through it and do those steps. But emotionally, I'm not sure. I really don't know how I would respond. I know that I've been in situations that have just almost taken my breath away, and I had to and when it did that, this one time I ended up getting shingles because it just jolted my soul.
Hmm.
And because of that experience, which I had never had before, now I'm always leery, like, wow, that just really jolted me inside. So I don't know. I'm prayerful that I'm prayerful that I will be present enough to move through the grief. I'm prayerful that my support system will call my, whether it's my sister-in-laws, whether it's my daughter, my son, or whoever will call, will be there to help me through it. But it's hard to say. And that's a reality to kind of sit in because talking through the steps, what I would logically do if something happens. I mean, I've had loved ones. My mom passed, my uncle. I'm early on at 12, a close cousin passed. So through my life, every so many years, we had close people passing. I know some adults that have never had anyone close to them pass, but I've had that experience early on. So to think about if my husband passed right now, how would I handle that? I'm thinking that I would be moving to go through the grief, but oh, we got to get this done. Oh, I got to look for this. I got to make sure we have this. Um, and also, I might not always reach out or I might not always ask for that help. I'll just say, I'll take care of it, or I might assign it to a close person. But that's where you really do need the circle. And this conversation is to say, I think in this conversation, what I'm saying is accept that outside help because you don't know how you're going to feel. And even though somebody may be asking you questions or when are you going to get this done or when are you have to walk through those steps gingerly
Yes.
and
Yeah.
also find those close people that you can say, okay, I just got to lay on your shoulder and cry. I don't know, and be okay with that. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
You want to share?
Well, no, I agree with what everyone says, and it is a challenge, especially navigating grief. But I think it's definitely, like you said, if the system was already in place, it's reshifting what that system looks like now with
Mhm.
that loss of that person. Not even just financially, but what is who are the people around you now? It's like who can I who can I not only speak to, but that can help me when I do need space, time to grieve or be
Mhm.
in solitude, not isolated, but in solitude, and who will kind of like, encourage me, but also not overly push it, because grief is tough.
Yeah,
You get
Yes.
what I'm saying? So it's just like
absolutely.
you got to keep the system going, but you also got to pause when necessary too,
I
because
love
it
that.
can overload you, and then nothing is getting resolved. So
Absolutely.
yeah, you
Absolutely.
got to know when to
Absolutely.
go and stop.
Yes, yes. That's good. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. And that's I think that this subject gets heavy for the right reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is not like a judgment zone. We're having a conversation because you are navigating the gap. You are working through, like we said, grief. You're working
It's a
through
true gap. Yes.
denial to
Yep.
acceptance, from confusion to clarity. Like, where are you in that? Is it fear of what's next, and then ownership, coming to a place where you finally say, this is okay, this is where I'm at. Like, Anna, is so amazing for you to even tell that true account of your life, and say at 38, to say the first thing you said was, I'm going to have a talk with myself. So we're also understanding that it's requiring guts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's requiring the ugly part of, and a friend of mine had told me one time, is this like about, like, when you really go through something, it can get ugly.
Yes.
It's not cute.
Absolutely.
No.
It get very ugly.
I mean,
It's
it's not,
hard.
it's
Yep.
hard.
Mm-hmm.
We're sitting here, we are discussing a topic, but in reality, we're talking tissues and snot and
Yep.
like,
Balled up
honestly,
on the floor somewhere out of sight.
yeah,
Can't sleep.
Yeah,
Just the raw emotions, no matter which way you turn, it may feel like it's never ending. Like,
Yep. All the reminders.
and if you have that children and you have to you're a caregiver also
Yep.
everything going on around you at the same time,
at the same time.
and
And-
in the work, like, that's you and your emotions, but I also, people are, you wonder, we see it on social media, on TV, how did they get to living in their car for the last 3 months? How did
Mhm.
they get there? Like, people are losing their homes, they're
Yeah.
losing their
Yep.
apartment, they're losing the security. They are
Mhm.
now taking, there's now families who have been secure because those two people, whoever they were, whatever the relationship, they were managing, they were bouncing off and sharing that responsibility. And now
Life
you
together.
are find yourself in what you've heard of, which is a
Mhm.
shelter. You're
Yep.
now you're now going to the door of a shelter to try to get your family in there, so that you cannot be out on the street. And not everybody gets into a shelter.
No.
And
No.
so
It's very hard.
there's all kinds of things that people are facing. And
Yes.
this conversation is, and I think you all have said it so beautifully, but this conversation is, when you find yourself there, when you find yourself in that spot, when you find yourself, and we all are going to find ourselves there. Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yep.
all going to be there for one reason or other. One reason is not going to be as tragic as the other. It's just going to be like different reasons. When you find yourself there, these tools, even this statement of, all of us are smarter than any one of us, if
Mhm.
tuck that in, put it into your heart, put it into your wallet, put it into your mind, to say, this, I'm not doing this by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. If I'm going to the shelter, I'm letting somebody know. I'm talking to the head person at the shelter to figure out, what am I, like, we keep secrets. We don't tell anybody. We
Mhm.
don't want people to know that the struggle is so,
The family secrets that burn down the
yes,
the
Yes.
mentality and the spirit.
And everybody has and what came to mind, this I'm going to stop right here and say this is an example of a couple, and this is recent, this is like very recent.
Hmm.
And me and the boys, we went to visit a church, and my car, I think my car had like broke down the day before or something, so I didn't have a car. And I had contacted that lady who invited us, and I was just like, "Oh, hey, are you going? Are you driving?" So, I was like, "Oh, well, we'll just go. Do you mind if we ride with you?" And she was just like, "Oh, I have." She didn't mean anything. Like literally, we were texting, and she was just like, "Oh, I have." Like she does stuff after church. She has errands to run, and I was like, "Oh, that's okay. That's okay." I never said, "Oh, I don't have a car," because she knows that I have a car, so she didn't even probably think about it. She was just like, "Girl, after church, I usually go and I do my."
Hmm.
Long story short, I was like, "Don't worry about it," and I said, I was like, "You know what? I still want to go." And I typed it up, found like Uber and Lyft, and see which one I can get the best deal about. And we Ubered ourselves on over there to the church house. Felt like I was doing something, but we got there and we did it. And when church was over, we were leaving, and she was just like, "Oh, where did you guys park?" Because they have like three different parking lots. I said, "Oh, we didn't even park. My sister, she's gonna pick us up. We Ubered up." She was like, "What?" Like she was just shocked that I had Uber. She said, "Why didn't you just tell me? I would have made different plans. I would have brought you back home. I would have given you guys a ride and just dropped you off. And I would have went to go and do my errands. I would have never said like
We
because
don't want to inconvenience
yeah,
anybody with,
I didn't
Body, right?
you
I didn't
know.
want to inconvenience. Right.
Hmm.
I didn't want to inconvenience her. But there's two sides of that story. On one hand, we do have to be able to go on. We need to be
Yep.
able to make our way,
Yeah.
right? I
Hmm.
needed to be like, well, I feel like I still want to go to church. I needed to be, thank God I had enough money to get us in the Uber and we got there. But at the same time, there's that other side that she's right. I could have said, you know what? I don't have my car. My car broke down yesterday or whatever. And that's why I was asking you about getting a ride. What do you think? Like giving her that second opportunity.
Hmm.
It's also those decisions in that
Yep.
time
Yeah.
was, knowing which one is the right one to make, but constantly pushing for relationship,
Yeah.
constantly pushing for connect. Go ahead, Leslie.
I'm just, in this conversation, when you asked us, building your team matters. Um, and then, we are smarter together. And Anna gave the example of talking to yourself. So that's a prime example of, okay, let me talk to myself. And Lord, how do I navigate this? If I'm clear, who are the ones I need to reach out to? Um, Not only when you're reaching out, our Sunday school lesson was about, helping others, helping each other out, your neighbors. When you're reaching out, you don't know what that reaching out is doing. We got to look at the other side sometimes. We just focused on us. It's not really all us, but it's that connection with someone that gets us to that next level, that gets us to that person that knows about a resource that I didn't even think about in another conversation because I reached out. So I have to think about that sometimes. It's like it's not just this moment. There's
Right.
other things related to that moment, um, that get us to become smarter because we are reaching out. We building our team even further because someone else can help us with another situation, or we can offer information. So, I community is important.
Yes.
It's
Community.
extremely important.
Mhm.
Um, the when you read the thing about us being smarter together, it
Mhm.
automatically made me think about how God created Eve for Adam. And I had to, because I don't know this where the addresses are in the Bible. So I actually Googled the exact verse, and it's Genesis 2:18. And
Mhm.
it said, the Lord God said, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. God knew we could not navigate things by ourselves.
Mhm.
He's there to help us, but we also needed someone in the physical by our side. Knowing that alone should give us the strength and take away the shame of asking for help, to take away the shame of having to keep certain things a secret. We weren't meant to live that way. And that's why I guess that's why it hit me so hard when you said we're smarter together. Yeah, because it's a collective. Anything that matters is always done as a collective.
Mhm.
Yes, it was. We were designed like that. Did you have something you wanted to? We were designed that way. It's in us, and it's also so. As we're wrapping up today,
Mhm.
and I want to mention that we've been talking about um, autism in real time and having moms on, and we have some more moms that are going to come on. One of the key things for me was when I first became a part of the special needs community. The first workshop that I ever went to was about the family. The first and it was hosted by the government. What I was living in Maryland at the time, and my baby was young. But the first thing you have all these things in order to get some of the resources. You have to do what they want you to do. You got to go to all of these trainings and classes and
Mhm.
workshops. And the first workshop was about the family, and it talked about the heartache of being a special needs parent, the heartache of having family. They're the closest ones to you, and they're your first assumption that they're going to be the ones that are going to be your greatest supporters. And she
Mm.
said they are not going to be. And I'm like, what? And
I believe that.
and
Yeah, I
it's
believe that.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. They did a whole training on, and she didn't stop there, but that she ripped that band-aid off of you assuming that mom and grandmom and cousins and the entire, like, the church, the picnics, the family picnics are going to be all surrounded around supporting you and your child or children that have different special needs, because it wasn't just odds, it was everything. And
Mhm.
they taught you that that's a reality and
Mhm.
that's a choice that they have, and don't stop there. There's ones that will want to, you teach them, you embrace
Mhm.
them, and then there are resources, there are groups, there are advocates, there are other things, and you learn to deal with the heartache of that not being what it's supposed to be, and the people you want to support you not being the ones that will. And then you open yourselves up, start coming to the special needs meetings, be a part of all the organizations that you can be a part of, sign up for all the therapy and the sessions and the groups, and you build your community that way.
Mhm.
And that was my first reality. And I will say, if you have a child with special needs, you need a community. It's
Yes.
not a situation
Absolutely.
that you want to do. You can't do it by yourself. And
Mhm.
if you are doing it by yourself, I will stop and encourage you. It wasn't designed for us to do it by ourselves. You have to,
Not at all.
if those people don't do it, then you have to find the community out there that will do it. And so I'm just going to say this: navigating the gap is for us, for whatever scenario we have. And I know all of us here, every one of you guys, if you thought about what are your top, I could say, oh, I'm an autism mom. I'm a single mom. I'm a mom with teenage. Like, I was a caregiver. I,
Mhm.
you know, all the things we can name. I work full
Yep.
time. Like, we can
Mhm.
name all the different scenarios of our life. And every scenario, you go ahead, you guys name some that we can say they need a community.
Yeah. If you are uh, going through chemotherapy, you have a medical condition and you have to go through chemotherapy, or you need a support system. Um, you could be single in doing that. So who helps you go to the doctors? Who is there to support you? And when you said that the first thing in the class was your family is not always going to be supportive, that is also strong with caregivers. It could be 9
Yeah,
children that the
True.
parents needs
absolutely.
a caregiver, and it's only 1 or 2 that step up. The other one's like, "Oh no, I can't handle that." Oh, that's or they're fine. They don't need any
Yeah,
help. So
there's two on the line, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll send money. I'll
right,
call
I'll
and
send
check.
money. I can't handle it. And people that
Yeah.
truly that's not their gift. That's not their, but it will end up that it may not always be family, that it will may be other church members, close friends, a co-worker, a neighbor. So you're those helping you in the gap. You're meeting them along your walk in life. And those are just what I call God wings, is God providing some people along the way to help you navigate to the next steps. And we have to be open enough to share, to say, hey, would you mind? Or I'm going through this, or just share a little bit. And you don't have to give your whole life story, your social security number, all of that. We're just saying,
Reach out.
reach out, reach out.
Yeah.
And those resources come in different manners. Somebody might call on the phone and say, I'm trying to do blah, blah, blah. Are you interested? And then a conversation starts. So just be open to it. Um, the gap, having that team, that support uh, can take you further. And it helps you get some of those things done that you might not have necessarily gotten done because you've gotten somebody to help support you, back you up, and kind of encourage you. So,
Yes. All
I
right.
think that that's the perfect sentiment. Life is vast and things are constantly happening.
mhm,
Just always remember the help that you seek may not look like what you believe it should look like when it arrives, but when it
mhm,
arrives, it's exactly what you need. So don't think about the packaging of who or where it should come from. Just know that when it's there for you in the particular format it was meant to be received. So it could be a phone call, it could be a visit, it could be an email, it could be a center opening up, but it's there. And don't be fixated again on family being the primary source. Sometimes family can't do it. They don't know how to do it or
mhm.
they don't want to. But seek your community and you will build a stronger foundation that is spiritually, mentally and physically healthy for you and it helps you navigate through everything.
Amen. Amen. I love that.
Right
I
there.
love that. This is a great conversation, Renee. Thank you
I
for
love this standing
Yes.
in the gap.
Yes. Yes. I love it. This was good, ladies. I'm so glad we were able to get on, and Gabby Gab joined us from the
Thank
from our
you,
audience.
Gavin.
Thank you, Gavin.
We got our audience member today. I'm so excited. And so this is so good. This is a great conversation. Next week, I'm gonna I'll make an announcement about it. We just have like our guest. What's that? Oh, Gavin was asking me, was I supposed to bring up a point about?
Oh, yes, you did say you were going to bring up a point. I thought you had already given it to us, but I
Oh, yeah,
wasn't sure.
No, it was that all of us are smarter than any one of us.
Oh,
Because someone said, I was in a meeting yesterday, not even related to, like, a business meeting,
Mhm,
and the he's very smart. He's a pastor and a teacher, and I think he might be a bishop. I don't know, but he said that, and I was like, wait, what? That makes so much sense. Like
we are.
all of us are smarter than any one of
One
us.
of
Like
us.
it made room for everybody.
Mhm,
It was what
Yep.
they call inclusive. You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
Mhm,
It was so accepting. I mean, I was listening. I stopped listening to whatever they was meeting about for a minute.
Because you were in there, and
I was just like, that is what we've been saying, like why you have to have family meetings,
Mhm.
you know,
Yes.
why you have to call people together and say, this is what we're doing, this is what it needs to be, you know, whatever the situation is, that all of us are smarter than
Mhm.
any one of us. And it really, I just wanted to know, I wanted to know if I said it to you guys, like what would it hit you in any kind of way? It just hit me.
It
It really,
absolutely did.
Yeah.
yeah, it just really
And
just resonated. Go ahead.
and the way, you know, you sharing that in that manner, I hope those that are watching this live or seeing the recording can really allow that to set in your system, in your soul, because we are, we are brothers keepers. We are here to support each other, um, to help someone, whether it's a loved one, a neighbor, a friend, a coworker. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
what gets us to the next level. When we're focused on a human being and their needs, then all of this stuff that's happening outside
Yeah.
Yeah.
is not as important,
Yep.
because
It
you're
completely
focusing
leaves
on
your
the
mind.
individual person and their needs, and you all are sharing each other. So those are what's we get into the heart of things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, that is I think
That
it's
is the key.
important.
What'd you say, Anna?
That's the key.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna say my girl. I never got to meet her in her life, but I really love a lot of the things that she says, which is Maya Angelou.
Mm.
And the idea. This is what she said: is that people will forget. This is the idea. This is
Yeah.
the I. She's like the idea that people will forget what you said.
Mhm.
People will forget what you did. Just think about
Yeah.
that. But
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
people will never forget how you made them feel.
Made them feel.
And it's
Yep.
so like there, I mean, because people say a lot of mean things, but
Mhm.
even
Mm-hmm.
behind all of the things that come out of our mouth and things that people say, man, the way that people make you feel,
Yeah. It's
the
hard
way
to forget.
and
Mhm.
you don't forget it. If you look at people sometimes, even when we watch like things on social media, things on the
Mhm.
news, and you see like how even why it, and I'm not being political, but I
Mhm.
just can think about seeing like women being pulled out of like Walmarts, like their clothes not being considered, their bodies not being just dragged out because they might have not have a certain status, or um and how we treat people, like how
Mhm.
you make
Yeah.
people feel. Like there's
Feel.
so many scenarios that we could use, and I'm telling you, we just have to, and we don't do it right. Like I'm not saying like every time I make people feel great and I do it, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like when we go away from this conversation today and we're encouraging people to, like, we are smarter together, like we have to be mindful of how, why there's a reason why people don't want to ask people, because
Yes.
they're
Yeah.
just like,
Experiences that they've had,
what are you
or
doing? Yeah,
how,
because
how they were treated.
they've already been marked. They've
Yep.
already been crossed off. They've already
Mhm.
Yep.
made so many
They've
mistakes.
been jaded.
Yep.
Mhm.
And they're like, they're not coming back. They're not going to come back to you. And you hear like all the tragic stories. So if there's any way that we can walk in forgiveness and ourselves, right? We can't
Mhm.
change anybody but ourselves. If
Yep.
we can show kindness, and remember that it's how we make people feel. Um, and it's true. It is so true. And I'm gonna end with this. And for years, I definitely have experienced someone who was intentionally unkind. But life causes us that we can't just up and walk away from situations either. Sometimes we have to walk through some. But within the last 3 months or 4 months, God has given me an opportunity to experience a similar, like a same kind of scenario where the people are kind. And I'm just like,
Mm,
well, I got an award
That
yesterday.
is
Like,
beautiful.
amen.
what?
That
I
Amen.
is
mean, like
beautiful.
not prompted. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Not, but I think that after you suffer for a while, and I'm sure that there's scripture somewhere, like Anna said, I don't know what the direction, what the thing, but there needs to be a time of let up, like let up on the negativity,
Yeah,
let up
Yep.
on the,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, let
just
it
being
go.
street. They okay, enough of just being okay. So you didn't make all the greatest choices. Like
Choices.
we ourselves have, we need to donate, we need to give more. We need
Mhm.
to look when we're at the cash register and people are checking out and they don't have that $5 or $7. We need
Yes.
to be, if you got it, pay for it. Like we need to be looking for opportunities to be kind.
Yes.
We've got to find a way
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
go in that closet and woo, after cleaning up and taking out and donating, I said, wow, we have a lot to give y'all.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm on.
And yep. And
Go
and
ahead.
I know we're gonna wrap it up, but in that vein, because I thought about this, is praying when you donate it. That Lord, may this really bless someone. May it really go to the people that need it.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what that next level is. What is that energy we're sending with it? Oh, this I don't want this anymore. No, what energy are we
Yeah.
using? What is our intention? So we could go off in another tangent, but yes, I'm with you. I thank you for this topic. Um, and we'll just keep talking about different areas of the gap.
Yes. Different areas of the gap. Yeah. For today, it was a little bit of clarity, I think. I got
There
a
was a
little.
lot of clarity.
Yeah. How about
Yeah,
you?
it was.
Yeah, no, definitely walking away from this conversation with a little bit more knowledge. I definitely wanted to be more intentional in definitely certain areas of my life. And this was a great conversation. So thank you guys for allowing me to be here.
Thank you, Gavin.
Thank you.
All right, we got one satisfied studio audience member. That's all we wanted. That's all we wanted. A mission
Yay.
accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Yes. He said we're gonna have more studio audience members, you guys. He said it. I received it.
I love it. I,
I,
I
I love it.
appreciate
I welcome it.
I love it too. Thanks, God. Thanks for joining us. All right, ladies, this has been amazing. So good to see the trio back together and Gabby Gab. So have a great Sunday and we'll talk soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining
Good
the
night,
call.
everyone. Thank
Good
you.
night. Thanks for
Hey,
joining.
like, share, and subscribe, and put some comments. Tell us what you thought about your thoughts about the conversation.